In the meantime, travel to Ireland with me.
Good morning, Dublin, Ireland. Hey, y'all. So, today we are up early, we are dressed, and we are ready to leave out of this hotel and drive down to Belfast. It's going to be a 2-hour drive. Interesting thing is this: Ireland is an island. I know, I'll be looking at maps. Ireland is an island. Right now, we're in Dublin, which is the capital of Ireland. But Belfast is actually the United Kingdom. It's actually England. So here in Dublin, they use euro. There in Belfast, they use the pound. Okay? But we don't have to pass through borders or anything like that. It's a straight shot, a straight road, 2 hours away. But we are going to another country at this point in time, but on the same island of Ireland. We're going to the UK portion now. Let's go. Now, before we go, we were instructed, I left my instructions on the bus, that we can leave our bags outside of the room. So this is my bag. I don't think I'm late for leaving my bags out. And then I'm just going to bring the rest of my stuff downstairs. And if I was late, I can always run back up here because that's a carry-on bag. So we're going to run down and get some breakfast and all of that jazz. Let's go. Let me show y'all the breakfast. So this is the breakfast. So you got your beans and mushrooms and tomatoes, your hash browns, right? Your sausage, your black pudding and white pudding. Remember, one has blood, the other doesn't. But this is the interesting part. It's the bacon. Look at the bacon. This is the bacon. See?
Hi, baby. Hi, morning.
So it's like that sign says roasted bacon. So that's pretty cool. Like, I've never seen bacon like that before. And then over here you have your breads and your muffins and croissants and fruits. And then your cheeses today is a brie, cheddar, and Gourbin cheese, pastrami, salami. And then your yogurts, natural yogurt, mango yogurt, overnight oats, and chia pudding. Now the thing about it is, let's grab one of these. The thing about it is none of this stuff is sweet. And then over here you have your juices. And this last juice is usually like a blend, some sort of mix. So today's mix is orange, apple, watermelon, passion fruit, and lemon. And then you have your cereals. And so those are the breakfasts for today. Like all the Guinness. I wonder what the different colored tops represent.
Let's make up a story about it.
I know, right?
I think the blue one, let's see, the red one has the highest alcohol content.
Right. And one of these clearly has to be the low-cal.
Oh, and then the gold one, that's the good stuff. That's that aged Guinness.
All right, y'all. We are going to have lunch here at the Glyde Inn. Not sure what part of Ireland we're in right now.
I kept trying to take film and then the bushes would come.
I know.
As soon as you get your
So that's where we'll be eating. Fancy meeting you here. What part of Ireland is this? Annagassan.
County Louth.
Oh, here we go. Right there. That's where we are. Look how charming.
ready for coffee?
Ooh, fresh hot
That's
scones.
It's very good.
virtual
Wow.
presentation. So I think I sent it.
So my name is Conor O'Neill, and my dad is Paul O'Neill. But my grandfather was a baker on the Queen Mary, which I believe is in Long Beach.
Yes.
I was just there.
Yes.
Were you? What's
Yeah.
it like?
Wow.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
It's like an Art Deco
Oh,
hotel now.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's very Art Deco.
Yes.
They've done a lot of work restoring it. I stayed in one of the rooms,
And
which was.
what's it like to stay there?
I'll show you a picture when we're done if you like.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my grandfather was a baker on the Queen Mary, and he was told that the bakery next door wasn't doing too well, and could he come home and help out? So he left his job, came back and worked in the bakery next door, and he did pretty well. He ended up purchasing the bakery off our owners at the time, and from that he bought here. He bought the shop across the road, and he bought the other pub and the land here. So, like, back in the day when my grandfather bought it, there was a hole just here that links, the bakery's right next door. So this used to just be for storing flour, and the door was there. So then my father took over here in 1976. Up until that, they just opened this place once a year just to keep the license. So if you open your premises once a year, they granted you another license for the following year. But then my dad, who worked in the bakery, then started working in the pub, and he opened it in 1976, and it was just a pub. So it was literally, there were 2 rooms. So just here, which was originally flour, so they cleaned this up and just made this a room, and then this was another room here, and the bar. So our bar dates back to 1770. One of the oldest bars in Ireland. When C.S. Lewis was here, it was I can't think of the names of the people that owned it, but it was the people before my grandfather bought it. It was the people just before them. But since that, my mum started doing food in the 90s, and very, very just simple Irish food, and it got very popular, and the whole end of the street people used to queue just to get into this area here.
Wow.
So what they did was, in 2000, they expanded the business and they built the restaurant out the back. So a restaurant now seats 120, and it has views over the whole bay. So you can see the Moor Mountains, the Cooley Mountains, so the whole border of Ireland is in front of you, and the tide comes right up to the shore. So that's basically our menu, is whatever is landed on the day,
Oh my goodness.
lands on our menu. That's all we do.
Really?
Yeah. So because of that, we won the National Geographic's World's Best Place to Eat, and also we won the National Pub of the Year. And then this year, so far, we've been nominated for the Good Food Ireland Best Restaurant in Ireland. We've also been nominated for the Food and Drink Restaurant of the Year, and also the National Pub of the Year. We've already won the Food Pub. We're now going for the National Pub of the Year this year as well. So we're kind of going from strength to strength. What do you call it? Yeah, we've got 3 experiences. We do a C.S. Lewis experience. So we ask Paul, who's the expert, to come in and tell people about that story. And then we also do an Irish experience where we do traditional Irish music, Irish food, and then we do a Viking experience. So we're also very famous for the Vikings here. They landed first in 841 when this was the capital of Ireland, and we link
This town was the capital?
this was, yeah. So back in 841 there would have been over 5,000 Vikings here, whereas now you're talking a population of less than 200. So for 12 years this was the capital of Ireland, and all of the raids that the Vikings made all came back. So they did all the raids to the UK and all of Europe, came right back here to Annagassan. But what we're really famous for here, if you want to go down to one product that we sell, is razor clams. So out here, most of the boats are razor clam boats, and most of the produce goes to Canada and China. So we're one of the only restaurants that sell it in abundance. So they come to us, and then whatever we don't take, it all gets exported. So you've got Sweet William on your left, Then you've got the Cooley Mountains here, and then you've got the Mourne Mountains. So if you watch Game of Thrones, so that's where that was filmed. The Mourne is just over here.
So the tide is out right now, but when it comes in, it comes all the way up to these rocks. Is that not neat?
Have you all read a book by C.S. Lewis, or at least you know of?
Yes, Narnia.
So I guess maybe the first thing to say is he was born in Belfast, which you're visiting later today, a place called Little Lee, in the year 1898.
Jared actually did go on further and around the bank with us.
Time for lunch. I'd rather be distracted. Food can wait. Food can wait. Look how charming. Look how charming.
This is prebiotics, so they work together. Yeah.
Bit of mint.
No worries.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. How are
Would
you?
you like to try some healthy hot chocolate?
Yes.
Yes. So this is nibbed. This is like 100% pure cacao, so it's very, very,
Like,
very strong.
all right.
And then there's also quite a lot of prebiotic fiber in it.
Smells very chocolatey.
Yeah, just don't expect Cadbury's because it's really not sweet. So that's why I always say if you like coffee, you could like this because it's those bitter notes that,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, you get it.
Uh-huh.
Hello. Very nice.
All right, so we got our food. This is the pizza. Me and Victoria's going to share this. And then I'm going to have a piece of his. So, yeah.
And if you believe me when I ask to a ball, sure they don't wear no tops to their dresses at all.
So now we're in Belfast and we're doing a walking tour. So this is really cool. And we have a surprise, we were told. We're going to have a surprise. So many of the libraries were built by Andrew or paid for by Andrew Carnegie. This is all so very cool. And this is why I be going back and forth. I say, 1 minute I say I'm not traveling with other groups again, I'm only traveling with myself. Then the next minute, this is the reason why I do love traveling with groups. When it works, it works. And it feels in this moment that it's worth everything when it works. Because I could have never pulled this off on my own, by myself. Oh, what a pleasant, beautiful surprise.
And I so look forward to rediscovering C.S. Lewis and a lot of the other writers we were introduced to or reintroduced to on this trip. It's just magical. Oh. Home of C.S. Lewis, a connection to Narnia. We're gonna go in and see. I can't remember the connection, but let's go see.
I'm a guest in the Glyde Inn, and a guest in the North as well. So I just picked them up an hour or so ago.
It's like we have a whole church to ourselves. You know, you go other places and it's a bunch of people also touring around. This is just for us. They opened this up for us. That's so amazing. I wonder if they'll let me go upstairs. So she's saying like the tiles, it gets smaller and smaller.
It gets bigger as you go up.
To draw you up.
Yeah.
And these are the original tiles. So they've been here for like over almost 200 years. So cool. Oh, this is where the original lion's doorknob is.
This is a replica.
Oh, this is a replica too.
Yeah.
But this is where it was.
You've heard of the Troubles, which was 30 years of sectarian conflict. You couldn't just drive into the city the way we're doing nowadays. There were like security fences. It was called the Ring of Steel all around the city. You know, and going into shops, you know, you would be searched going into each shop in case you'd got an incendiary device or something in your bag. But that's all 26 years ago. We're marking 26 years of peace. President Biden was here last year with former President Clinton and Senator George Mitchell and other American guests, helping us celebrate 25 years last year of peace in Belfast. And the city really has been transformed. It was a strange old childhood, I'll tell you that much. I remember when my brother and I were wee, we might be outside playing and our parents would come and get us and say, "We need you to come and mind the car." Now what did that mean? It meant that they had to drive somewhere, you know, perhaps outside Belfast, but they couldn't just leave their car and head into a shop because if the army or the police had been passing, and an empty car could have been packed with explosives, it could have been a bomb, and so they might have carried out a controlled explosion on it. So the presence of children in the back seat meant it wasn't a bomb. So all around the place you had children sitting minding the car to prove that it wasn't a bomb. It's only now, 30 years later, talking about that, you think that was weird. What was to say that the car in front of us or the car behind us might not have been a bomb? And there we were, bribed with a comic or a bag of sweets to prove you to sit and mind the car. So it was certainly very difficult times. But the main thing to take out of all of that is it was only the minority of people who felt this way and behaved this way. 95% of the country were peaceful, law-abiding people who were absolutely horrified at what terrorists were doing to our country and our reputation and our architecture and our people, because 3,500 people were killed and the great majority of them were innocent civilians.
Wow, Belfast is certainly fascinating with so much history. And right now we are on our way to see a statue of Frederick Douglass here in Belfast. And so the question is, what's the connection, right, with Frederick Douglass in here? Well, one of the connections is Belfast is extremely proud that they never had slavery here. And Belfast was actually one of the places that Frederick Douglass would actually visit.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm honored to be with you. I'm glad I had a couple with you.
Oh, here he is.
A merchant called Waddell Cunningham, this bit I do know, had a trading relationship with Jamaica, and he was sending ships backwards and forwards. And he stood in that assembly buildings, that room where they had the Harp Festival, and proposed and said, look, perhaps we could have a slave ship company. A man called Mr. McTeer, anyway, he jumped up and said, may God eternally wither the hand of the first man to subscribe this damnable document. So we never ever had a slave trade, which is wonderful. But let me give you these facts. Frederick Douglass, 13 facts. This is the first statue of Douglass in Europe. He was the third great black abolitionist to visit Belfast, after Aluda Equiano in 1791 and Charles Lennox Redmond in 1841. Frederick Douglass was born into slavery in Maryland and escaped, marrying another former slave, Anna Murray. He taught himself and others to read and write and was an impassioned and inspiring orator. He was employed by the American Anti-Slavery Society and wrote a biography of his early life. He arrived in Liverpool in England in 1845, but immediately came to Ireland, to Dublin, where he met his hero, Daniel O'Connell. Now, Daniel O'Connell is known as the Liberator or the Emancipator. He was the man who brought about the right for Catholics to vote in Ireland, Catholic emancipation. Frederick Douglass visited Belfast in December 1845 and was very well received. He wrote one of his most memorable letters, which is really an essay, in Belfast on the 1st of January 1846. In it he wrote, I have left the blue skies of America for the soft grey fog of the Emerald Isle. I breathe, and lo, the slave becomes a man. Belfast minister Thomas Drew, that was the man who built our cathedral, he referred to Douglass's biography as the stone in the sling that would overcome the Goliath of slavery. Frederick Douglass was a friend and robust critic of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln received him in his office on the day of his second inauguration, confirming at that meeting how he valued him. Frederick Douglass was the most photographed American of the 19th century. He was also a committed feminist and went to a lecture on this subject on the day that he died in America in 1895. And then my friend has said there are great quotes around the base of the statue, including one about his desire to own a pocket watch. And he bought his first pocket watch on a trip to Belfast. It is shown on his waistcoat pocket. There you go.
Wow.
There you are.
Thank you.
That was great. So thank my friend on behalf of all of you. Yeah.
I did hear more photographs.
Going to our hotel now. So this is our hotel. All right, y'all, let's go to our room. This is our room here in Belfast. We are in room 512. There's Nikki's room. Let's see. Okay, let's go in. Ooh. Okay, this is cute. All right, let's put the stuff down and then have a proper room tour, shall we? All right, Europa Hotel room tour. Let us see. This looks like this is the thermostat. As soon as we come in, all the lights on. Boom, got some light action going. All right, it's very quaint. Like the size is very intimate, but it looks very well decorated. I'm loving this. Look at the floors of the entryway. And then the bathroom, we have one of those glass bathroom situations, y'all. So it's almost like if you are here with somebody else, this might be a little bit uncomfortable because this is the situation. This is the situation. And I don't see nothing that says frost these doors, right? This side has a little bit of a curtain, but this is as far as it comes out. That's as far as it comes out. So that can give you a little bit of privacy if you make sure that your guest stays over there on the bed. But yeah, this is how it's going down. But I'm loving the gold And again, it's very small, but it's like a good use of space. And I feel like the elegance makes up for the size, right? Here we go. We got this mirror situation going on. Boom. There we go. There we go. That's cute. We have eSpa products here. Okay. And then the shower. Once again, we got to close the door in order to get into the shower. And then the shower, okay, it has the rainfall shower head, which I'm not a fan of. Because for those of us not trying to get our hair wet, sometimes that can present to be a problem, but we have the wand over here. So problem solved. There we go. And again, I'm loving this gold. It is really making me say I want to go home and redo my bathroom with these features, the gold. And so then we come out here, we see that we have our closet area. And then this is probably the mini fridge. No, it's not. It's the safe and more storage area. And we have the tea kettle situation. And that may be complimentary water. Yep, still water. Nice, nice. We have the milk, because I guess milk and tea is a thing. But this isn't necessarily a coffee station. So that's how that's going down. And then we have another little shelving area over on this side. We have our TV and we have our full bed. And again, the beautiful gold features. And I'm loving that mirror back there. The bed looks nice, fluffy, and comfy. This side, we have a little sitting area right there. And a table that I'm sure we can pull closer to the seating area. And then we have this little desk area. Oh, there's our blow dryer. Again, the mirror makes everything look bigger, huh? And we have this right here. And so far, if we look at the window, this is what we're seeing. So one thing we know for sure, if we don't pull our blinds down, nobody's going to be able to look at us. But let's get a little closer to this window and see what we see. Okay. So if we peek over here, we get a little sliver of the opera house. All right. And then it looks like they have a little rooftop garden action going on right there. Does this window open? And if so, how far? Maybe not. It looks like there's a key that goes right here. So maybe not. Okay. We're not going to try to figure that out. But this is what it is, guys. We don't have much of a view, but that's okay. We're only here for 1.5 nights, tonight and tomorrow night, and then I leave out in the morning. But cute. Okay, guys, we are here at dinner. This is home, kitchen and bar. Eat, drink, shop local. This is the pork belly something. All right, so I have the venison ragu. Sticky toffee pudding.
I can't get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type.